Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Today we will talk about the memory operations, not traditional memory, like the visualization of the variables, how the variable is stored on the memory for the programming perspective, not about the real hexadecimal address value. This will be helpful for us who don't visualize the OOP concept, the classes and the variables and the others, how the variables are storing the values and how the memory operations are happening. Throughout the my classes, I have seen that most of the students couldn't visualize what's happening behind the memory in the RAM. As you know, the RAM is actually a bunch of cells. There are many cells, and you also know each of the variable type allocates a specific type of bytes. For example, integer takes 4 bytes in C#, float maybe take 8 bytes, or double take 8 bytes, something like this. But we will not discuss about the bytes. We will think that each of the cell will take appropriate bytes, but the total cell is a single variable. As you can see in this grid, there are two colors. Number one is this, it is quite gray, and the other one is quite what can I say, orangish, not actual orange, or cream color, whatever. So I will demonstrate like this. In here we will write the variable name, and here we will write the values. Okay, so in pure algebra, what happens if we write x equals to 10? What happens? It means the value 10 will be stored inside of the x. If we take that concept into our programming model, we can write integer x equals to 10. So what does it mean? It means it will take the compiler or the interpreter or whatever, or the engine, that create a cell of integer, name it as x, and put 10 on that cell. So for example, if we interpret as a compiler, let us say we will take this cell as x, so we'll write it as x here, and we will put 10 here. So in the memory, this cell is allocated. For example, if we write integer y equals to 20, what happens? For example, in here the compiler will allocate y, and it will assign 20 for that cell. Now what happens if we write integer z equals to x plus y? That means it is instructing that get the value from x, get the value from y, add it and put it in another cell, name that cell as z, and put the resultant value. That means x equals to 10, y equals to 20, and here we will put 30. So this is the basic scenario of the variable allocations, something like this. Now as you can see, integer x, it just, sorry, we have already used x, suppose s. What does it mean? It just takes the s here, it doesn't put any value here according to the cell. So far so good. Now the language designers put some rules on each of the type. For example, it dictates that integer, if we put some value here and mark that cell as integer, then we can do some certain operations using this value, and we can't do some operations using this value. For example, if we write string m equals to test, what is happening? It takes a variable here, suppose m, and put test here. Now if you write integer st equals to m plus z, so you are instructing that get the value from m, which is test, and get the value from z, which is 30, add those. Well, now the compiler will cry that the m is string and z is integer. String and integer can't be added. So it is a rule, it is a logic. So somewhere inside of the compiler it is written, right? Otherwise how is it understand? So each of the variable has some certain rules, some certain logics, that it can do some operations, it can't do some operations. For example, in JavaScript you can easily add string with the integer, because that language is designed in that way. But in Java or in C# you can't do these types of operations. Why? Because this language is designed or coded in this way. You can't add a string with an integer. So these are the logics or rules, set of rules associated with the type. So I hope you now understand this concept. So in summary, the variable allocates in a cell according to the byte it is given, and it can do some operations, it can't do some operations. Okay. Now suppose I'm clearing this all. Suppose you want to perform a work, something like you want to work with 3 separate variables in each term. For example, you have string name, you have string address, and you have string phone, and you want to work with these 3 variables each of the time in a group. So you want to group this name, address, and phone every time you want to work. So how would you group? What if, suppose you give a name of that cell, name here, address here, and phone here, and you create a group like this. How can I mark this? Okay, suppose I want to mark in this way. So you have grouped these 3 variables, and now you want to give this group a name. So whenever you allocate that group, you want to use that group automatically takes 3 cells consecutively. So suppose we want to group this name as a student. So what happens here now? So if you want to allocate a student group, it will take 3 cells, and the first cell will be named as name, address, phone. So currently in our memory there is 2 student group. This is the one group, this is the another group. Now if you want to assign some name here in here, what will you write? Suppose I want to group name this as Can I put any comment here? For example, student 2. So it is student 2 and it is student 1. I'm just giving some name of this group. So if you write student 1 dot name, which cell will it point? It will point this cell. And if you write name equals to tiger, so where does this value goes? These values go from here to here. Now if you want to write student 1 dot phone equals to 1 2 3, what happens? It will assign 1 2 3 here. Now the magic begins, the interesting part. We have given this group name as student 2. So if we want to point out this cell, then we need to write student 2 dot phone. Now if we want to assign this value to this value, so what should I write? So student phone equals to student 1 dot phone. Easy. So after executing this line, this will happen. I hope you now understand what's happening. Now if you want to make some rules for this group, for example get full name or get full information, you want to ask this group a rule or put a rule that if you ask the whole information, it will give you the concatenation of 3 variable. So in that case you need to assign another cell which stores the function of GetInfo, and you write your string GetInfo method inside of that cell. So whenever you allocate a student group, what will happen? Each of the student group will take 4 cell, 3 of them will take 3 variable, and the another one will take the GetInfo method, and inside of the value part the method definition is stored. It is stored here, it is stored here. Clear, I hope. If you have any question, please comment on the video or in the Facebook group. Now sorry, I hope you can't see the video. Okay, I apologize. Now for example, string GetInfo method, you have given return what are the variable names? Name plus phone. So this definition will be stored in here, and also in here. Sorry, it is okay. So I'm pasting it again here, and here. Okay. So what happens here now is, if you call this GetInfo, it will get the name. Where is the name? The name of this group, which is this one, and it will also concatenate with the phone. Which phone? This phone. So we have name equals to tiger, phone equals to 123. So what string it will return? It will return tiger space 123. The same definition goes here also. If you call GetInfo, what will it return? It return name, the name of this group, which is this one. But the name currently don't have any string or any value, so it is empty. And the other one is phone, which is this one, and that is 123. So the methods are working in this way. So I have a short question for you. After that I will go to the next phase. Suppose inside of my group I want to have for example interest rate. I want to have full amount, and I want to have year. I want to, and this is the variable I want to assign or allocate, and I want to get interest. So I want to do this grouping, or whatever I can say. This is a class. The group I have mentioned is actually class or objects. So you can do this. Thanks for watching. In the next video I will show about the arrays and the collections using the in the user defined type. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.